Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Happy Victory Monday, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Hope you're soaking in that big win over the Minnesota Vikings. Look, I understand J.J. McCarthy resembled a passing version of an NFL quarterback yesterday, and that has led some Packers fans already, less than 24 hours after the win, to get down on the fact that, oh, the Vikings, McCarthy, like the offense. You take every win and you enjoy every single one of them, people. I am marinating in the defensive performance in the second half where they allowed, 4 yards, something like that. Absolutely phenomenal, complete performance from the Green Bay Packers yesterday. I love the fact that they just took care of business. And for the first time in a very long time, not only were there signs of complimentary football, but we actually got to kind of relax in the second half. Feels like it's been a long time, probably since that Washington game in week 2, where we were able to kick back and just enjoy things as they came in the second half because the Packers had complete control of the game. Now, of course, you can only sit on that for so long. Eyes will turn towards Thursday's showdown with the Detroit Lions, a huge matchup. No question about it. Both of these teams have things to work on. The Lions barely surviving in overtime against the New York Giants, a team that the Packers dispatched 2 weeks ago out there in New York. Going to be interesting to see the approach in this game. I talked about this quite a bit with Andy Herman on Let's Talk Football. Make sure you check that out here on the channel when we're done. But I do suspect the Lions will get after Jordan Love and the Packers offense right out of the gate, much like they did last year in Detroit. Don't think they want the Packers to be able to settle in and get comfortable on offense. We saw the Vikings have some real good success blitzing the hell out of the Packers, and that followed kind of the same MO that the Eagles took when they came to Lambeau on that Monday night a couple weeks ago. I know the kind of pattern that a lot of these teams have gotten into over the course of the back half of this season has been to play too high shell, keep it all in front of you, dare the Packers to run the ball. But I think the Lions, especially early in this game, are going to try and get after Jordan Love, kind of stop the run on the way to the quarterback. And I don't doubt for a minute that Matt will continue to lean into the running game, maybe not to the extent we saw him do against the Vikings yesterday, but a good way to neuter a pass rush and kind of call off the dogs, as it were, is to be productive against constant pressure. And you saw that occur yesterday against the Vikings. With that said, I think the temptation might be there to try and push the ball down the field early, try and rip off some chunk plays and get into a position much like we saw a couple years ago in Detroit on Thanksgiving, that deep shot to Watson, setting up an early touchdown and taking control of the game early. I'm not saying that'll be the exact script, but I think there's a decent chance that if they win the toss, they take the ball and they try and get out to a lead, kind of like they did in week 1. Marched right down the field, scored a touchdown, never looked back. Of course, it's never that easy, but I suspect that will be the case. Regardless, great to see them take care of business yesterday, which is what they did. I've seen a few complaints. Oh, they could have scored 40. Yeah, they could have. And today, it still only counts as a victory, singular. Doesn't matter. I had zero issues with Matt LaFleur kind of shutting things down there in the second half, running the ball and getting the hell out of there with a banged up team, a banged up quarterback on a short week. Zero issues with that approach. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you all in the comment section, mixing it up as per usual. A lot of the friendly folks who come here every day. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Before we get going, you guys know, got to give a shout out to our good friends over at ThetaCare. ThetaCare is a proud sponsor of Cheesehead TV. Before any big game, make sure your health is in championship form. With more than 115 years of trusted care and a team of experts in over 60 specialties, ThetaCare keeps athletes and fans alike game day ready, because winning starts with wellness. Make sure you check out the link in the description of this video for more information. All right, folks, what's going on? What's on your minds? What's on your minds? Tell me, Don Miguel, tell me. This is a very good point, Chuck. Only 2 penalties by the Pack yesterday. That's got to be a good sign. They average 7 penalties a game, have had as many as 14. Yes, that was, in addition to the complimentary football being played, one of the more heartening aspects of the contest, playing clean football. Unfortunately, one of those penalties came on that drive that started on their own 2. felt like they were making progress, and then they get the false start penalty that puts them behind the sticks even more, and that's when it kind of short-circuited. But overall, to your point, very clean game, and that does bode well. Hopefully they start to clean this up. Now, it does tend to kind of go week to week on that, so watch them have like 20 penalties on Thursday, but no doubt about it. That was one very encouraging aspect coming out of this game. We talked about it last week, especially against a blitz happy team like the Vikings. Make sure you're playing clean ball so you're not shooting yourselves in the foot, getting behind the sticks, for no other reason than your own doing. Thought that was a great, great aspect of yesterday's game. Could JJ McCarthy be the next Christian Ponder? He could be. It could be worse, man. He could be the next Zach Wilson. I mean, I know you're saying Ponder because of the Minnesota ties, but man, he just does not look like an NFL quarterback at all. I mean, yikes. Crazy Packers fan, what's going on, man? Didn't notice that Jacobs was out thanks to Wilson. I mean, Wilson had an outstanding game. Talked about that in my post-game chat last night. No question about it. I think he surprised a lot of people, including myself, if I'm being honest. I didn't think he would be able to carry the load the way he did. I thought for sure they would have more of a timeshare, but man, he was outstanding. Really great after contact, great vision, finding the backside cut. I just thought he was excellent. And the way he was able to manufacture yards when it seemed like he'd been stopped for a minimal gain, that was the secret sauce, making sure that they stayed ahead of the sticks most of the game. What else we got here, folks? Any word on Love's left shoulder? Only word is the initial injury report that came out a little bit ago, and he was listed as a full participant. Now, it is an estimation. They didn't practice today. I would suspect maybe they had a walkthrough, but there was no availability, so we didn't get to hear from LaFleur. But all signs are that he came out of that game no worse for wear. Now, that said, it's clear it's affecting him. You noticed how he was handing the ball off yesterday. No question about it, he's dealing with something there. And I suspect, it sucks to hear it, but I suspect that might be something that he'll be dealing with for the back half of the year. But we'll see. We'll see starting on Thursday. Grimpy, what's up? Nags, so what? Our defense is just that dominant, or was McCarthy that bad? Because the Vikings did beat Lions at Ford Stadium earlier this year. Absolutely. That's because they were able to stay on game script. And that is what Hafley had been talking about and did talk about last week regarding once they got a multi-score lead in the second half and the Vikings couldn't just stick to pounding the football, which is how they've protected their quarterback. It was a turkey shoot. The pass rush was just overwhelming. And they did so much on the back end as well. That's the other thing. I thought Doug Farrar did a really nice job of pointing this out. For Mathlon Sports, he used to work a long time ago, used to write for Football Outsiders. I loved Doug's work for a very long time. But he was showing some of the combination coverages that Hafley was throwing at the kid, and McCarthy was just short-circuiting. Like, he didn't know what he was looking at. Sometimes having straight up cover two on one side and some kind of inverted version on the other, it's just he had no idea where to go with the ball. And you saw that play out because he kept kind of freezing the pocket, right? And that allowed the pass rush at times to get there. But then there were other times where Micah Parsons was just wrecking shop, and he had to get off the spot because there was instant pressure. So it was just a combination of everything the defense was doing that really gave him problems. And, comparative to the Lions game, the Lions never really were able to take control on the scoreboard the way the Packers did yesterday. And because of that, they could stick with their game script, keep running the ball, stay ahead of the sticks, and it allowed them to steal one, Now, all of that doesn't mean much when the Packers face the Lions, right? There's no transitive property. That's why we always talk about what a week-to-week league it is. And you can see a team that's riding high one week and then all of a sudden has a loss that has you scratching your head. But yeah, the Packers defense was absolutely legit yesterday. No doubt about that. Menace, what's going on, man? Belton needs to be the right guard. Morgan experiment needs to be over and let him compete at left tackle next year. Menace, I suspect that's exactly what's going to happen. I agree. I mean, here's the thing. With Belton, the power and the physicality in the run game is so apparent, and you can really kind of work with that. The pass protection is inconsistent, I think, to be expected from a rookie, right? But with Jordan Morgan, there's no question that Belton gives you a lot more in the run game. And if they want to run the ball, which they very obviously do, I think Belton is the easy call there, right? But that doesn't mean that Morgan's done, right? To your point, I suspect he is their left tackle next season. That would be my guess. But when it comes to playing guard, right guard in this offense, especially here down the stretch, whether turning, you want to lean into the run game, yeah, Belton's probably the call. What else we got here, folks? Oh, let me see any super chats. We got Joe. What's up, man? That inside rush by Parsons that took out the Vikings' interior offensive line and led to a Wyatt sack was legendary, or should be. I very much agree, man. There was a lot of stuff in that game on the defensive side of the ball that will live on forever in our collective memories. Obviously, nothing bigger than the trolling of the skull chant. That's an all-time moment in the history of this rivalry. But yes, that Parsons rush was absolutely outstanding. What else we got here, folks? Steve-O, what's going on, man? Happy Victory Monday, all. Had a victory cigar yesterday afternoon in Door County. Stopped at Woodman's in Kenosha today for Carry the G and Luigi's. Oh, look at you. Now I just said Luigi's and I got hungry. I get so hungry. Stuff is so good. That's what I do. One of the things I love about being back in Wisconsin. Picking up a few Luigi's pizzas, going back to Dad's, cracking open a Carry the G. So we're right here, buddy. We're right there. I love it. William, how you doing, man? I'd love to see a vintage play action rollout like Rodgers and Nelson used to do to start it out. What a thing of beauty it was. I mean, you don't even need the rollout, right? I mean, they had that shot play to Watson back a couple years ago on Thanksgiving. But I hear you. I love that play. It was one of my all-time favorites. Funnily enough, I talked to Jordy about it 2 years ago here on the channel. And something that he pointed out that I had never thought of, but obviously makes a world of sense once he said it, was one of the reasons that was so successful and they were able to succeed with it at the level they did was because Jordy never came off the field, or very rarely came off the field, right? So he's constantly in the run game coming up and blocking these corners or safeties, whoever's over there. And the one time where that corner's ready and go, oh, here we go again, now all of a sudden he's flying by him, you know? And that ability to make it look the same over and over and over again, and all of a sudden take advantage of the defensive back, doesn't really exist in this offense, right? They mix and match guys so much. It's hard to set guys up that way. But I did love that play. I do love that idea. Bobby, thanks for being a Care of the G Club member. Heading out for the Bears game and seeing how electric the crowd and defense were yesterday has me fired up to get out there. Absolutely, Bobby. And I love that it's a late afternoon kickoff now. They've moved it from the nooner it was to the 3:25 kick. So the crowd will be nice and liquored up, ready to go. Cannot wait. That is going to be a big, big game. Jake, what's going on, man? Defense, Defense has 3 takeaways. Offense puts up 20-plus points. McManus goes 5 for 5 on extra points, field goals, 2 total penalties. Safe to say we played a complete game. As complete as can be expected in that situation, I would say so, yeah. I think there's always things you can take and look at and say we got to do better there. And I think number one is protection against pressure. You know, I think I saw the stat. I think it was Zach Cruz put it out there. 24 snaps where out of those 24, the Vikings blitzed some form or another on 20 of them. You know, it was effective too. And again, it's kind of what the Eagles did as well. And the Packers have kind of struggled against that a couple of times now. And the more they put that on tape, the more, probably starting on Thursday, you can expect other teams to follow suit. So we'll see. But yes, on balance, looking at the totality of the game, their most complete game, no doubt. E4, what's going on, man? First time I saw you mention another team in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hopefully the Lions' reaction to getting their ass kicked will be the next ugly. Oh, I've done it before. Trust me. Specifically, usually with the Vikings. I've certainly put the Vikings' horn in the ugly before. No question about it. What else we got here, folks? FMCH, what's up, man? Complimentary football. Tell me more about this newfangled NFL game play style. I mean, it's been a long time since they played complimentary football at the level they did yesterday. Again, probably going back to week 2. It was just a beautiful thing to see. Absolutely, one side picking up the other, continuing the success, all 3 phases contributing. Absolutely love to see it. What else we got here, folks? Keith, what's going on, man? That skull chant in the end zone was the cat's meow. Isn't it the cat's pajamas? Yeah, cat's meow. No, we'll go with that. It's very, very good. And yes, it was outstanding. Uncultured, what's going on, man? Like Red said in Shawshank, I thought it would take them 4 seasons to ruin J.J. McCarthy. The Vikings did it in less than 2. They certainly did. I mean, that's provided you believe he was going to be something in the first place. You know, I never understood him being drafted where he was. Thought he would be a serviceable backup in the NFL. The Vikings seem to think differently. And it sure looks like he's in a very, very rough spot a year and a half into his NFL career. Cheeto, what's going on, man? Was LVN on the field, or did I imagine that? No, he was on the field about 6 snaps, I want to say. Unfortunately, he was listed on their estimation injury report today as a did not participate. So if they had practice today, he would not have been out there, which doesn't bode well. I would suspect maybe some kind of setback there. Again, we haven't heard from LaFleur, the Packers today. His only media availability this week will be tomorrow. So we'll hopefully get an update then, but he was out there very sparingly, but apparently didn't come out great. Matthew Clark, how are you, man? Packers and Chelsea win. Green Bay about to go on a streak to bring the Lombardi home. A good weekend for Nags. I really appreciate all your coverage. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, that Chelsea win. It's kind of funny because it feels like a million years ago because it was so early in the morning. But yeah, absolutely love to see it. Jesse, what's going on, man? I can't wait for the next time someone says Micah is underperforming. Just show them the pic of Micah triple teamed and the rest of the line one-on-one. Dude still has 10 sacks and leads NFL pressures. Yeah, I mean, he is everything that you want. And the whole reason Brian made the trade that he did plays out each and every week. Man, he is so good. And he's a different beast, man. He's a different cat. And he is a driver for why they've had success on defense this year. Even when he's not getting to the quarterback, he's still affecting game plans, affecting protection plans each and every down. He is so good. And the fact that he's got 10 sacks prior to Thanksgiving, let's go, man. Unbelievable. MA, what's up, man? Might get hate, but is Emmanuel greater than Jacobs? No. And I understand the thinking behind that. I know people love his play style, and he certainly was productive yesterday. But Jacobs is a better back, overall better back. And that doesn't take away from anything Emmanuel Wilson did yesterday or will do in a Packers uniform. He is a great compliment to have with Josh Jacobs when Josh is available. But no, he is not better. Mike, what's up, man? Hey, Nags, lots of plays to pick from, but I think my favorite play was Micah completely bulldozing over that center during Wyatt's first sack. Unbelievable. The fact that he starts, if you watch the play, when he's kind of bouncing around there in the middle, and he kind of feints like he's going to go to his right, and instead loops around quickly and goes up through to his left. You know, you could tell, man, that interior of the line is just like, where is he going? Like, you don't know. And the way he just bowls over the dude and keeps his balance. That's the other thing. Dude falls on the ground. There's bodies everywhere. You would think Micah would be part of that, like a kind of a tumble to the turf, but he keeps his balance and stays after the quarterback, which leads to Wyatt's sack. The guy is a different animal, man. Jerry, what's up? Love is 2-0 on Thanksgiving. Let's go. Let me correct you on one little thing. The Green Bay Packers, when quarterbacked by Jordan Love, are 2-0 on Thanksgiving. There's no such thing as a quarterback win or loss. But I understand what you mean, and I'm here for it. I'm all about that. I'm all about that jazz. Let's go. Does anyone know the moon cycle this Thursday? I do not, but that is a very good question. I know there was a lot of talk about that a couple years ago. We'll see. We'll find out, I guess. Zane is a monster. You are not kidding. That play, man, you cannot overrate. Of course, A, the importance of it, but B, just the completeness of it. To have the idea, the wherewithal to understand the ball is coming, bouncing backwards, noticing that, doing everything in your power to push your dude into it, and then recover the fumble on your own means a one-man wrecking crew. That is such a heady play, a physical play. It's everything you love about your guys on teams and what you want them to be all about. He certainly steps up there and changes the entire game. Wow, what else we got here, folks? Joe, thanks again, man. Thought Wilson showed more elusiveness than usual. That was one of the more impressive things about his performance was the number of times there was kind of a guy in his lap, right, or instant kind of penetration from the defensive line. His jump cut was so impressive, or the ability to sidestep the initial pressure and make something out of it. That was something that I think maybe he's always had, but he certainly showed up a bunch of times yesterday with a regularity that I have not seen before. I mean, the quick elusiveness, the ability to make moves in a phone booth, getting skinny through the hole when there's a ton of bodies in the middle there in the A gap. That was pretty damn impressive. Really, really good stuff. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Care of the G Club members, Patreon members, don't forget happy hours tonight. That's right, 6 Eastern, 5 Central. The information is on your respective pages. Everyone, please hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family, Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.